Reformation and Counter-Reformation. First, we will start talking about the Reformation with Martin Luther. He was born in the Holy Roman Empire, and he wasn't famous until he wrote the 95 Theses. The 95 Theses were sparked because of the sale of the indulgences that were supposed to give you a direct path to heaven, and according to Martin Luther, this was not okay. So he wrote these 95 Theses and explained how life should be in the daily life of a Catholic person, and how life should be in church. After he wrote them, he went to the local church of Wittenberg and pasted them, and everybody could see them. After this action, he had problems with the Catholic Church commanded by Leo X. So after this, he was warned by the church and the emperor, but he didn't listen and continued doing protests, which finally became a movement called the Reformation. He was excommunicated from the Catholic Church, and he was also treated as a criminal in his hometown. The final product of Martin Luther, among a lot of famous writings, he created a branch of the Catholicism called the Protestants, and after he founded the Lutherans, that is a branch of the Protestants.
Henry VIII's actions are much more important to the history of Anglicanism. Henry married Catherine of Aragon in 1509. After 20 years of marriage, they had a child, its daughter Mary. He wanted to divorce his wife because he needed to have a son to inherit the throne. So he went to talk to the Pope and they didn't allow such thing. Henry's situation was much more difficult, so he created his own church, the Anglican Church. In 1534, he created an Act of Supremacy, in which stated that the political head of England would be also the spiritual leader. Henry used his new powers to close monasteries. The English nobility has disliked papal control of the church, and now they had a financial interest in the new order. However, Henry stayed close to the Catholic teachings. He married Anne Boleyn, but she didn't give him a son. They gave birth to Elizabeth. When the king died in 1547, he was succeeded by Edward VI, his 9-year-old son by his third wife. He was in power by a few months, then he died of tuberculosis. Queen Mary got the power. She was Catholic, so she tried to make everything straight. If they didn't were Catholics, she killed them. Mary died without kids, so Elizabeth took the throne. She was now the Queen of England, a very loved woman because she gave freedom of believing to the country.
A Spanish nobleman, Ignatius of Loyola, founded the Society of Jesus or Jesuits. Pope Paul III recognized Loyola's small group of followers as a religious order in 1540. All Jesuits took a special vow of absolute obedience to the Pope, making them an important instrument for papal policy. Jesuits used education to spread their messages and establish schools. Jesuits missionaries were very successful in restoring Catholicism for parts of Germany and Eastern Europe, and in spreading it to other parts of the world.
After all the problems that the church had with Protestants, they decided that they had to find a solution to these problems, so they created the Jesuits and the Inquisition. You can look at this like the good cop, bad cop routine. The Jesuits were a group formed by Ignacio de Loyola that tried to reach people's souls by education and learning. But I'm going to talk about the Inquisition. The Inquisition was like a secret group of the church that was in charge of converting every person into Catholicism. And this wasn't by the good way all the time. They also had the mission to get rid of every offender or everybody that wasn't Catholic. They first gave a warning to the offender, and if they didn't listen or follow the instructions, they punished him or her. They used very bizarre methods and very painful ones.